Hello and welcome back to Mate's Tottenham blog and to today's live reaction to the Europa League round of 16 draw. Spurs are in the hat, so are many other big teams, but also some big sides have been knocked out of the Europa League in the last 24 or so hours. We'll be talking through all of that and then reacting to the live draw as Spurs learn their destiny for the Europa League round of 16. I'm delighted to say today I am joined by Charlie THFC for this draw. Charlie, thank you so much for joining me this morning. How are you getting on today?
Yeah, good. It was always, Matt. As always, thank you so much for having me on your channel. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting draw. As you said there, some sort of the bigger teams have been knocked out, interestingly. So look, it will be an interesting draw. And there's obviously some tough opponents in there for us. You got the likes of, I think, obviously Man United, a few others as well, AC Milan. There are some tough teams in there for us. But hopefully our sort of luck with draws this season can continue, because you saw in the League Cup, we got, I think, Stoke and Brentford. And then obviously in Europa League round of 32, we got Wolfsburger, who are the lowest ranked team left. So hopefully our luck continues and the draw's kind to us, and hopefully we can go far in this competition. But look, as always, thank you and fan beyond Matt.
Yeah, no, absolute pleasure to have you here, and I think that is the feeling among a lot of the Spurs fan base, especially given some of the results we saw last night with Napoli and Bayer Leverkusen among the teams who were knocked out of the competition. And we'll have a quick recap on last night's results very shortly. First of all, we've Dark Sungji 21 here saying, big fan from Korea. I hope you aren't rusty after 1 week break from hosting. Are you live streaming alone today? I hope you can show your reaction of Dele's performance from yesterday. Dark, thank you very much for those kind words, and I hope I'm not rusty. I hope I'm still on flying form today. Thankfully, I do have Charlie joining me today to make everything a little bit easier. But look, Dele Alli's performance yesterday, Charlie, we might as well get straight into that. On Wednesday, sorry, it was fantastic. He was back to his best. And look, I know people are going to say it was only Wolfsburger, but at the end of the day, you can only beat what's in front of you. And I think Dele Alli did that quite well.
100%, yeah. It was a joy to watch on Thursday, first of all, because we were 4-1 up and there was sort of a less stressful game to watch. And yeah, with Dele Alli, he goal and assist for him on the night. What a goal. That goal, honestly, insane. That rolling back the years, if you can even say it, despite him being only 24. Overhead kick, sort of took a nice... So I thought his touch was actually quite heavy when he took it down, but then it looped over him and he knew what he was going to do. The second that ball sort of went up, he knew he was just going to go for that. And he went for it and it went in, and it was a wonderful goal. Of course, the assist as well. I think that's gone slightly under the radar, because that pass obviously it was a great finish from Gareth Bale, but that pass, a lot of players messed that one up. It's a very difficult pass to do, and he got it spot on, right through to the path of Gareth Bale, who took it on first time. So yeah, look, as you said, you can only beat what's in front of you, but this is what we're calling to see from Dele Alli, because at the moment, the way things have shaped up for him this season, he's only really going to get opportunities in Europa League until he's sort of more trusted in the Premier League and stuff. So to put in a performance like that was what we needed from him, because we mustn't forget as well, in the group stage a couple of times he was sort of underwhelming against sort of teams at a similar level to this. So at least it's a step in the right direction, and he's really, really good performance. And I think he definitely could potentially put himself in contention for more minutes in the Premier League team.
Absolutely, and I think that is what a lot of fans are calling for right now for Dele Alli and Gareth Bale as well, mentioned by Jimmy there in the live chat, for them to get back in that Premier League side, because we feel as though they have deserved it with their incredible performances of late. Again, only in the Europa League, but they can't be good in the Premier League if they don't get their chance in the Premier League. We've Tony Chapman here saying good evening from Thailand. Tony, thank you very much for tuning in. Everybody, let us know in the live chat where you're watching from. Of course, I'm in Ireland, Charlie's in England, Tony in Thailand. Let us know in the live chat where you are watching from. And we're quickly going to run through the teams that are in the hat for this draw today. Of course, 16 teams remaining in the competition. Spurs, of course, in the hat after beating Wolfsburger 8-1 on aggregate following Wednesday's 4-0 victory at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Norwegian side Molde are still in contention. They knocked out Hoffenheim by 3-0. Of course, Ryan Sessegnon's current club, where he's on loan there, knocked out in the round of 32. Ajax, or famous foes from the Champions League a couple of years back, are still in this competition. They beat Lille by 2-1 last night, winning that one 3-1 on aggregate. Another one of our foes, Arsenal, who I see a lot of people hoping we do come up against, are still in the hat. A late winner by Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Yeah, a late winner by Aubameyang sent them through. 4-3 they won on aggregate there. I think a lot of luck there. And if we do draw Arsenal in this competition, it would lead to 3 North London derbies in the space of a week, with our Premier League clash coming up there as well. We do have Napoli knocked out of this one, which is a big surprise for a lot of people. They were beaten by Granada Rangers still in contention for this. A massive 5-2 victory against Antwerp last night. Of course, Antwerp, the team who beat us in the group stage, but they're out. Rangers with Steven Gerrard through to the round of 16. Shakhtar Donetsk are still there. They knocked out Maccabi Tel Aviv 1-0 on aggregate last night with Junior Moraes scoring from the penalty spot to send them through. Villarreal beat RB Salzburg. They are through to their last 16, winning that one 3-2 on aggregate. Juan Foyth, of course, currently playing with them. Bayer Leverkusen, one of the big surprises for this one. They are out. Young Boys, after beating them 4-3 in the first leg, have beaten them 2-0 in Germany as well. So they are through. Young Boys we faced in 2013, I think it was, in the Champions League qualification round. There was a bit of a scare in Switzerland before we did eventually make it through to the Champions League. Dinamo Kiev knocked out Belgian side Club Brugge. Dinamo Zagreb are also through. They beat Russians FC Krasnodar with Mislav Orsic scoring in that one last night. For me, one of the surprises of the round, Leicester City are out. They lost 2-0 at home to Slavia Prague after a 0-0 in the first leg. Their goals by Lucas Provad and Abdullah Shima to send Brendan Rodgers packing. Man United 0-0 against Real Sociedad last night, but their 4-0 first leg win has sent them through to the last 16. AC Milan scraped through by the skin of their teeth against Red Star Belgrade. PSV Eindhoven knocked out by a late goal by Olympiacos. Ahmed Hassan scoring in the last minute, to send them through. And Roma are also in the last 16, beating Sporting Braga. Charlie, out of those teams, who do you want to see Spurs draw?
So look, we've talked about sort of the teams, sort of the lowest ranked teams left, and as I said in the previous round, we did get Wolfsberger, who, with all due respect, were the lowest ranked team left. And I think maybe someone like Mulder, I'd say, because they played Arsenal in the group stage. Arsenal dealt with them pretty comfortably over the 2 games there. So I'd probably take someone like Mulder. With all due respect to them, the lowest ranked team left, I do believe. So as well, there's other teams in there, the likes of maybe Dinamo Kiev, who Chelsea I remember dealing with quite well with a couple of years ago. Dinamo Zagreb as well, potentially. But however, there are some decent teams in there. And I think it could be possible if we do come up against someone, you look the likes of AC Milan, Roma. There's some tough teams in there. But I think, look, hopefully the draw's kind to us. Someone like sort of maybe Young Boys, I saw someone said there, we got some good memories against them. And as I said, Mulder. So hopefully the draw's kind to us, and hopefully it gives us a route to progress in this competition.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I mean, that's all. I see a lot of people saying we'd love to, if we win a competition, we want to do it by beating the big boys. Of course, that is the ideal way to do it. But for me, with the way Spurs are playing at the moment, that isn't what I want to happen. I want to get the worst team in the competition. And if that is Molde, if it's Dinamo Kiev, Slavia Prague, whoever it is, I want a team that we can comfortably say going into the tie we will beat, because it'd be much better for us. And you mentioned it before the stream. If you say, for example, United get Arsenal and one of them knock the other team out, and we have had a bit of luck with that. With Napoli coming up against Granada. Now Granada not the best team in the world, but at the beginning of the season in Spain, we're towards the top of that table. So are still a strong side. They can't be underestimated. But to go to that tie in Naples, get the away goal that sent them through, I think is credit to what they managed to achieve in that one. But for me, the worst team in the competition is what I want, which, look, it may sound kind of negative, or it may sound as though I don't trust this team, but look, they've shown us on the pitch they're not on the best form at the moment. We've Aaron saying morning lecture finished just in time, fairly confident against most teams barring United. And speaking of United, we've Martin in here saying we'll be typical Spurs to get the lowest ranked team twice in a row. Look, if that's what happens, that's what happens. Around the time when we had the Europa League round of 32 draw, the FA Cup and the League Cup draw for the semi-final or the quarter-final, in those 3 draws we got the lowest ranked team in the competition. Nice. So if that luck continues, I think we'll be doing quite well. Lily White Lane, thanks for tuning in, says hope you're okay. Ideal draw for us will be Rangers concede so many at the back and will be one entertaining game. Welcome Steve to the stream as well. Charlie, if we did get Rangers, as you were saying, on flying form in the Scottish Premiership, I think 7 points after the league title, and we're still only in February, ending Celtic's domination in that league. Do you think it would be an easy way through, or do you think we'd have a proper game in our hands?
I think if we were to get Rangers, I think that would be a tough game, because people say, they're in Scotland, Farmers League, whatever, right? But Rangers, they've got some good players that could easily play in a much higher quality league. I really do believe that. You look at the likes of Ryan Kent, Alfredo Morelos as well, Anis Hagi as well, all in there. So they've got some quality players, Rangers, and they've obviously been flying this season with Gerrard at the helm there. So if we were to get Rangers, I think that would be a really tough draw for us, to be honest, because as I said, they're just full of confidence. They're on some mad momentum all season. So yeah, it would be a tough draw, Glasgow Rangers in this round.
Yeah, we've Acone here coming in with the £2 super chat saying, "Come on, boys! I want Woolwich FC to send them packing." Thank you for the super chat, and I think a lot of people would enjoy knocking Arsenal out of this competition as well. So fingers crossed, if that is the case, that we do get rid of them. Jiminy says, "I want a big team to knock out early." And Martin makes the point that Rangers are undefeated in Scotland and Europe this season, which is absolute credit to Stephen Gerrard and the work he is doing there. Just a quick one in terms of the format of this draw. So according to the Sky Sports blog, they say clubs are split into two pots for the last 32 draw, with the 12 group winners and the 4 teams with the best Champions League record all seeded. But there's no seeding or country protection at this stage, meaning there could be an all-British tie in the round of 16. So in this draw, it's almost a free-for-all. Anybody could come up against anybody. We're not protected by the fact that we won our group. We could come up against another group winner or another team who did drop out of the Champions League. Loves Music coming in with the £2 super chats. Is in it to win it. Bring it on. Come on, you Spurs. Absolutely love the energy, love the positivity, and that's exactly what we're here for. We want to win this competition, and we're gonna do everything we can to get that done. Anyway, the draw will hopefully be getting started in the next couple of minutes. So while we're waiting, as Steve says here, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already to stay up to date with all things Tottenham, including live watch-alongs, previews, reviews, breaking news videos, interactive live streams like these, and the Tottenham Fan Voice podcast as well. And make sure to smash that like button if you are enjoying the stream. We've nearly 200 people in here, so please do smash that like button. It helps us out quite a bit. Phil here says the Battle of Britain element of playing Rangers makes that a much tougher prospect. Absolutely does. Aside from the teams we've mentioned already, Charlie, is there anyone in particular you want to avoid?
Yeah, as I said, the Italian teams in there, pretty decent sides. AC Milan, of course, I think they're third or second in the league. You look at Roma as well, a very good side there. So there's some good foreign teams as well. You look at the Spanish teams, Villarreal, good side. I think they're up there in Spain. So yeah, obviously the English teams as well. Some tough teams in there. I believe Man United are current favourites with the bookies to win the competition. So yeah, there's some tough games in there. As I said as well. More teams in there. You look at trying to think who's in there. Ajax, we all know about. If we end up drawing Ajax, I think they'll probably have a bit of fire in their belly. So look, Ajax, it's a completely different Ajax team to the one we saw when we obviously had that mad night in Amsterdam. So look, Ajax, they'll still be a tough draw. So there's some tough draws in there. So as I keep saying, hopefully the draws kind to us today, and hopefully we can get a good draw.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Jiminy here with the $8 super chat says, "We're coming for that trophy. I don't mind who we draw, but I want to avoid United." And again, love the energy, love the positivity. In terms of the dates for these games, the round of 16 will be played on the 11th and the 18th of March. The quarterfinals then will be a month later on the 8th and the 15th of April. The semi-finals are the 29th of April and 6th of May. And the important date for the books, if you're an optimistic Spurs fan like I am, the 26th of May in Gdansk, the final will be played. So Charlie, we touched on it already, but I want to dive into it a bit more. The round of 16 on the 11th and 18th of March, and on the 14th of March, we play Arsenal in the Premier League. Are you excited about the prospect of 3 North London derbies in a week, or do you think that could be something that could take the bragging rights off us for a while?
I don't know. It depends. Obviously, it depends how. If that's the case, it depends how the games will go. Because obviously, if we were to win the tie and the game, then obviously it'd be great. But I'm not sure if my blood pressure could take that. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not sure if I'd be able to cope with that. So I think it's probably best to avoid it for me, because I know some fans are saying, yeah, they want Arsenal and stuff, but I think I'll just hang back a bit on that one.
Yeah, Steve says you may have to beat United at some point. Why not now? And look, that's the other thing. Like, we will have to come up against a good team sooner or eventually in this competition. You know, if it is going to be in the semi-final or if it is in the final, you know, it is going to happen. And it's not just the English teams you have to worry about. You know, looking at Man United in this competition last season, we're going very well and looking at winning the trophy, and then all of a sudden come up against Sevilla in the semi-final, and a certain Sergio Reguilon made bits of them down the left-hand side that day and did knock them out. So this is a competition that typically English teams haven't had a lot of luck in. You know, we can look at Sevilla under Unai Emery. They won it 3 or 4 years in a row. I don't know, in recent years, you know, Chelsea won it the year we were in the Champions League final. I think Manchester United won it not too long ago as well. But this is one that I think there's a lot of potential for an English team to maybe kind of take control of this competition, because if you look at the strength of the Premier League right now, they're big teams dropping down into this competition, and I'd like to think we are one of those big teams. So I think there is a chance for England to really make a statement in terms of this competition this season. Bobby B comes in with a £5 super chat, says, "Hi Matty, sod's law, we will get Man U or Arsenal, but if Dele and Bale keep the same energy as Wednesday, bring them on." And I fully agree with you there, and Bobby, and thank you very much for the super chat. Charlie, we already spoke about Dele. Let's speak a bit about Bale. He's been incredible the last couple of weeks, and look again. He's not been up against the best opposition, but he did have that moment against Manchester City. He had that volley against West Ham that crashed against the crossbar. Do you think we may be starting to see the best of Gareth Bale come the end of the season?
Well, it's definitely the best we've seen of him so far this season. It's definitely he's getting better and better, and I've been so impressed with him. Like, of course, 45 minutes against West Ham, very good stuff there. Another goal. What a finish that was against Wolfsberger, albeit it was against Wolfsberger. But I think a Gareth Bale that isn't confident probably takes a touch there. He took it first time, and for me, that breathes confidence for him. That's a really, really good sign there. And as you said, I think he's in contention to start against Burnley. I think he's earned that start on that right-hand side for me. So look, I'm really excited, and fingers crossed. If he carries on, he could potentially save this loan deal. Hopefully. So look, fingers crossed. He can carry on. But yeah, it's definitely the best signs we've seen so far since he's joined here, and I do believe as well the draw is literally about to get underway. Just to let you know there, Matt.
Perfect. That's what we're all here for. And there's a little comment in there saying something like they don't want to see our face, show us the draw. We can't show you the draw for copyright reasons. We're here to discuss it. So if you don't want to see our faces, don't come into the channel. Maybe
BT Sport. BT Sport on YouTube.
We've the BG here coming into super chat saying, great to see Charlie on here, top guy going far. Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you.
Look, I'm absolutely delighted to have Charlie in here as well. Always a pleasure having him on. Martin says you'd wonder if Bale started to put in a shift for a contract. Look, I mean, it's a possibility, but I don't think that would be the main thing on his mind. You know, he loves the club. We're hearing that a lot from him and his agent. I think he's starting to realize maybe his career is hanging in the balance a bit more than he realized. Steve as well saying Bale scored an amazing goal on Wednesday. As Charlie said, that's good signs from him. Absolutely. Charlie, look, we know we don't typically play the strongest team in European competition, but even in that second leg against Wolfsberger on Wednesday, it was a relatively decent side. You know, we saw a lot of fringe players, but players who are undoubtedly good enough to get a tie like that done. At what stage of this competition do you think Jose Mourinho might realise that perhaps he needs starting or Kane's and our Sons or Højbjerg's in this competition?
I think it all depends on the draw. Like, I think we could see it in this next round of 16, depending on who we get. I think as soon as we get a team that's sort of on a very high level, I think we'll start seeing it, because we know Mourinho, how serious he takes this competition, how seriously he always wants to win this competition. So look, it obviously depends who we get on the draw in this round. Obviously, if we get sort of a lower ranked team, we might see a similar sort of team that we saw against Wolfsberger over 2 legs. But as I said, if it's someone like a Man United, an AC Milan, someone like that, I think we could see a full strength. And why not? I completely agree with that if he's going to do that, because I think we have to go all out to win this competition. So, yeah, it obviously depends on the draw for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you on that one. Jiminy says, if you don't want to see their faces, then don't watch the channel. We're all here for Matty and his channel. If you weren't, then too bad. Jiminy, absolutely appreciate that as always, and you're spot on in that one. Bradley says, can we draw another British side? We can. There's no seeding and no country protection in this draw, so it's a free for all. We could come up against Manchester United, or we could come up against Slavia Prague. It really is. Well, they say it's really random. We don't know that for a fact, but we could come up against anybody. And Charlie, on that point, there's a lot of people talking about, you know, all these draws being fixed. You can have the hot and the cold balls in the pot. You have, you know, people putting their hands under the desk and thinking that. Do you think these draws are random, or do you think there is an element of things being fixed?
Well, it depends really, because if you look at the Champions League draw, Man City every single year with the lowest ranked teams. Like, you look at the round of 16 draw, they got Mönchengladbach, who are the lowest ranked team left. You look at all their groups as well; they play Shakhtar every year. So, and you look at Madrid as well with the referees. That's been well documented there. So you never know. I've always said UEFA are corrupt. So look, I would not be surprised if they're fixed, because you wouldn't put it past these absolute frauds in charge of this organisation. So look, they probably favour some teams. Let's be honest, but I don't know. It's hard to tell really.
Yeah, we're never going to know for sure. You know, we can put together our conspiracy theories and we can have our discussions and all that, but we won't exactly know for sure in this one. And if you had to choose right now, Charlie, if you had to choose for Jose Mourinho to prioritise a push for top 4 in the Premier League or a push for a Europa League trophy, which one would you rather he did?
Oh God, I think at the moment the way things are, I think you're looking at Europa League, and obviously Europa League's a trophy. It gets us in Champions League football anyway, so it could come to a point where we do completely prioritise Europa League unless we can somehow turn our league season around. Of course, sitting I think 9 points off top four now. So, look, I really want to win Europa League. Like that's when as soon as we got in it last season, I said right. I really hope that Jose can bring us this trophy and win this and one. So look, for me, Europa League, we have to go for both. At the moment, we have to try and go for both. But I think the later in the season, it could get to a point where we have to prioritise one, and I could easily see that being the Europa League itself.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on that one. I think it's probably a more realistic way back into the Champions League for us because we're just not good enough in the Premier League at the moment. And of course, a trophy in the cabinet. That's what we need. That's what we want from this time with Jose Mourinho in charge. Look, the draw will be getting underway very, very shortly. As was it Oscar said, I think in the live chat, or Alfie said the people presenting it are waffling.
Yeah. They always do.
They always do. Just trying to get their viewership numbers up a little bit. If you are enjoying the stream, please smash that like button. And if you want the Tottenham Fan Voice podcast, Tottenham Hotspur Transfer Talk live watch-alongs, previews, reviews, any content you could want from a Spurs channel, make sure to smash that subscribe button down below. And also make sure to go over and check out Charlie THFC, another fantastic channel, getting the support it deserves. Make sure you go over and subscribe to Charlie there as well. Steve says the draw should be made by a machine picking the balls like the lottery. Less room for conspiracy then. And look, I think it's...
Yeah. I'd agree with that, actually.
Yeah, but I think just the whole theatrical side and the kind of show that they're putting on more than anything. Michael Clancy says David Harris is going to get some shock when he wakes up and realizes the draw's over. He's actually been in here already. Credit to David, yeah. He was up before noon today. He deserves that. Deserves that. Just as a draw, are we getting underway sometime soon, Charlie? I think someone there.
Yeah, they're sort of. I don't know what I have it on mute because I don't want to play it out loud because it'll echo and stuff. But yeah, I believe right now they're getting underway. I'm guessing they're probably just saying we're getting started. So yeah, look, they're just showing at the moment. They're just showing all the teams. So you got Ajax, Arsenal, Dinamo Zagreb, Dinamo Kiev, Granada, Man United, AC Milan, Molde. So that's 8 of the teams there. So I'll probably show the other 8 in them. They go on for ages talking. I've always said this. And then we've got the other 8 teams here. Of course, Olympiacos, Rangers, Roma, Shakhtar, Slavia Prague, Tottenham, Villarreal, and Young Boys. So, look, it should be getting on the way any second now, you think. So, come on.
Fingers crossed it does.
Any second now, and then it's like 5 minutes. Oh, here we go. He's putting his hand in the pot. Here we go. We're starting right now.
Let's do this.
Here we go. So the first name out of the hat is, once they screw it open. So we have got the first name out of the hat is Ajax.
So Ajax, a team that perhaps we would want to avoid, especially if this first leg is going to be away from home. As we're waiting to hear Ajax's opponents, we've loads of music here saying if we win it or finish 4th, what's the best for qualifying? Winning the Europa League will put us in pot 1, finishing 4th in the Premier League.
And their
pot 3, so a Europa League trophy would certainly be better for us.
Their opponents are, he's just pulling it out, Young Boys. So Young Boys against Ajax.
So Ajax against Young Boys. There's one of the big teams that we have happily avoided. Ajax, of course, not the team they once were, having lost the likes of Hakim Ziyech, Frankie de Jong and Matthias de Ligt, but still a very strong squad in place there. And Seb Haller, the new signing, fit and firing. So definitely a good one for us to avoid there. First game is Ajax against Young Boys.
The next one, he's just unscrewing it here. The next one we have got is Dinamo Kiev.
So Dinamo Kiev, the Ukrainian side, who of course got through last night following their victory against... Oh, I've lost it. They won. They beat Club Brugge. Brugge, yeah. Dinamo
and
Kiev
their
through
opponents will be... Let's see who this is. Villarreal.
So Villarreal, of course, the current home of Spurs defender Juan Foyth. They will be going to Dinamo Kiev, I assume, away from home for that first leg. And I suppose another team that maybe we would be happy to avoid out of the pot. Villarreal beating RB Salzburg, a very decent victory for them. Salzburg, a very, very good side. So we're 2 draws in. Still no Spurs, still no British sides.
The next one is, if they can unscrew it here. Next one is AS Roma.
So this is another one we certainly do want to avoid. Roma got through to the last 16 following their victory last night against Sporting Braga.
Braga. And then their opponents will be, Shakhtar Donetsk.
Shakhtar Donetsk, the team that we're quite used to seeing coming up against Manchester City in the Champions League, but they've dropped down to the Europa League this season, and they will be visiting AS Roma on the 11th of March with the reverse tie on the 18th. Still waiting for Spurs to come out, but definitely a few teams down that we'll be happy to avoid.
Yeah. The next team to be drawn is Olympiacos.
Olympiacos, of course, knocked Arsenal out of the Europa League last season. Rather funnily, really, scoring a late goal at the Emirates after Spurs had knocked them out of the Champions League group stage. So it'll be interesting to see if they do come up against Arsenal or Spurs again in this one.
Let's see. So they will be up against Arsenal again.
Arsenal
have Olympiacos again.
It's happened. I think there'll be Mikel Arteta going out for revenge in that one. Arsenal visiting Olympiacos on the 11th of March to try and get some payback for their defeat in the round of 32 last season. Let's hope Olympiacos can do it again for us, but we'll have to wait and see. Spurs still not out of the hat. We have 4 ties to go.
Yes, so the next draw, by the way, hopefully we're drawn away for the first leg. I'll just add that in there as well. So the next name out the hat is Dinamo Zagreb, I think that is. Yeah, Zagreb. Yeah.
Dinamo Zagreb, the Croatian side. I suppose that's one we'll be happy to draw against, despite the travelling to the other side of Europe. But I think a fairly weak side that we should be beating. They, of course, knocked out Russian side Krasnodar.
So they will face. I can pull this out of the hat here. They will be facing Tottenham Hotspur. We have drawn Dinamo Zagreb in Europa League.
There it is. Tottenham will face Dinamo Zagreb in the round of 16 of the Europa League. I assume the away leg will be the first one on the 11th of March, and then on the 18th of March, the return fixture
we're away
at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So that is Dinamo Zagreb versus Tottenham Hotspur. A very, very good draw for us. One that I'm certainly happy with.
Yeah, I'll definitely take that. 100%. So let's look at the next one. The next one, Man United have been drawn. Give them AC Milan. Yeah, I'll take that. I'm happy with that. Dinamo Zagreb. So Man United have been pulled out the hat, and they will face. Give them AC Milan. Don't give them Mulder.
Oh, Mulder will be good. Solskjaer derby.
Oh God, give them Rangers potentially. That'd be good. So they have been drawn against AC Milan.
Oh, there it is. Charlie, you're on fire tonight.
That's a good draw. One of them will be gone.
What a big turn up for the books that one is. Spurs getting Dinamo Zagreb, and now Manchester United coming up against AC Milan in the last 16 of the Europa League. I doubt that's one those United fans will be happy with. Martin, if you're still in the chat, let us know how you're feeling about that one. But that's Tottenham, Arsenal and United all out of the hat. We're still waiting for Rangers. They'll be coming up against either Molde, Granada or Slavia Prague. I'm sure that'll be a draw.
Slavia Prague have been pulled out the hat.
So Slavia Prague are out. I'm sure Steven Gerrard will be happy with whichever draw he does get out of the remaining 3 teams. Maybe Granada, the one that he would want to avoid the most, with Slavia Prague are out of the hat.
So Slavia, who of course knocking out Leicester, as we know. Big shot. They will be drawn. Yeah, they will be drawn against, if this one will be pulled out here. They will be facing Rangers of Scotland, of course.
Rangers. So Slavia Prague will be looking for another British scalp following their victory against Leicester last night, up against Rangers in this one. Steven Gerrard's side, of course, beating Royal Antwerp 5-2 last night. We've Martin, the United fan, saying, I'm buzzing with that. A game between European royalty. No, Man United are there too, Martin, don't forget. So the final game will be Molde against Granada. We'll just wait to see who was first out of the hat. Let's see who's going to be at home for the first tie in that one.
So it will be Granada at home for the first one.
There it is. Granada at home, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's former side, the Norwegian outfit, Molde, will be travelling to Spain for the first leg on the 11th of March. So just to recap that draw in full, we do have Ajax against Young Boys Dinamo Kiev facing Villarreal. AS Roma will host Shakhtar Donetsk in the first tie. Arsenal will be looking for their revenge against Olympiacos as they've been drawn away to Olympiacos, which is the same format of their tie which saw Arsenal knocked out of the Europa League last season. Tottenham will visit Croatian side Dinamo Zagreb before welcoming them to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. A big tie at Old Trafford on the 11th of March as Manchester United host AC Milan. Slavia Prague will look for another British scalp as they take on Rangers, and Granada will play Molde in the final tie of the Europa League round of 16 clash. Charlie, let's dive straight into it. Spurs against Dinamo Zagreb. We've got to be happy with that.
Yeah, I'm happy with that draw. And it's interesting with Dinamo Zagreb. What reminds me of them? Luka Modric. When we signed him from there, of course. That's whenever I see Dinamo Zagreb, I just think of Luka Modric. So, yeah, this is a good draw. I'm happy with that. Of course, look, they're probably the top team over there in Croatia, but I think out of the other teams we could have got, I think that's probably a good draw. Probably not the weakest team in the competition based on rankings, but definitely not the strongest. So, yeah, I'll definitely take that Dinamo Zagreb, and I fully expect us to get through that one. So, yeah, of course, they do have some tough players in there. You look at Orsic is one that they've scored a goal for them. I'm not sure. Did Danny Olmo go from them? Because I remember he played for them.
Yeah, I think he's with Leipzig now.
Oh, okay. But yeah, they're not a bad side, Zagreb, but I think it's definitely better, a better draw for us than what we could have potentially got. But yeah. Hopefully as well, Olympiacos Arsenal, we get a repeat of last year. I'll just throw that one in there as well.
Yeah, we've got to be happy with that one. Just on that team, they got Bruno Petkovic, who scored a few times in the last 32. They got Mislav Orsic, as you said, and they also, in their ranks, do have Kevin Theophile Catherine, the former Cardiff fullback, but not too many names there to be overly concerned about. Thank you very much, Santrupt, for the super chat. That is greatly appreciated. But it's a very good draw for Spurs. You know, as you say, they are Dinamo Zagreb they're not a terrible team. They do have some pedigree in that team, which we do need to be somewhat wary of. But given the teams that we could have come up against, I think Dinamo Zagreb is a very, very good draw for Spurs. We've got Croatian Gaming in here. If you're a Dinamo Zagreb fan, let us know how you feel about that draw. Are you happy to come up against Spurs, or would you have preferred a better or a worse team? Let us know. But from Spurs' point of view, I'm happy. I think Charlie's happy. And judging by the chat, I think a lot of the team, a lot of the fans are happy as well. Some of the other ties: Man United against AC Milan, Roma against Shakhtar Donetsk, and Olympiacos against Arsenal. Some very, very good ties coming up in there. Some big teams knocking each other out, and I think Man United against AC Milan, for me anyway, is the tie of the round, both in terms of the entertainment value that game will offer, but also one of those big teams will be out of the competition. Charlie, sitting here right now, are you more confident or less confident that we can be holding that Europa League trophy at the end of the season?
Obviously more confident because we got a draw which should see us through. Obviously it's not going to be easy, Dinamo Zagreb, but I think it definitely gives us a reasonably okay route to hopefully progressing in this competition, and hopefully if we can beat Dinamo Zagreb over two legs, the draw can continue to be kind for us in later rounds if we can progress as far. So look, yeah, I'll take that draw 100%.
Yeah, I absolutely will as well. Martin says, so will there be another draw for the quarters, or does the winner of tie A play tie B, etc.? I think when it gets to the quarter final, they map out the rest of the competition. Yeah. Charlie, does it look like Charlie's watching the stream? I can't get it here in Ireland, but does it look like they're getting ready for anything else?
No, it's done. No. It's done.
It's done. Okay, so it is done. I'm sure at the quarterfinal we get another draw, and I think then that is when they do map out the remainder of the competition. Jiminy very confident saying we can win this. Island Life saying the same. Alfie saying don't underestimate the opponent. Alexander says should be beating Dynamo. Augustia says great draw for us, as does Louis Landers, and Spartan Seving says get in lads, I'll take that. Finally, another final quick recap through that draw. Ajax versus Young Boys, Dinamo Kiev versus Villarreal, Roma against Shakhtar Donetsk, Olympiacos versus Arsenal, Dinamo Zagreb versus Tottenham, Manchester United versus AC Milan, Slavia Prague versus Rangers, and Granada against Molde. It's one that Tottenham will feel we can win. It's a competition Tottenham will be getting increasingly confident that we can come out of with a trophy at the end of the season. Jose Mourinho has been in this competition 3 times. He's won it 3 times. Fingers crossed he can make that 4 out of 4. Look, we're going to wrap it up there. It's over 300 people watching right now. So please, if you are new to the channel, make sure to smash that subscribe button for the Tottenham Fan Voice podcast live watch-alongs, which will be happening for both the home and away leg of this Europa League tie on the 11th and 18th of March. For previews, reviews, any Spurs content you could want, smash that subscribe button. Hit the like button if you have enjoyed the stream. Hit it if you're happy with Tottenham's draw. If you're looking forward to seeing us face Dinamo Zagreb. And Charlie, before we go, do you want to give a quick plug to your channel?
Yeah, of course, and thank you, Matt. So yeah, if you want to see more Spurs content, find me on YouTube, Charlie THFC. I'm kind of having a short stop at it at the moment due to some monetization issues I'm having, but hopefully very soon we will be back very soon producing more content. But at the moment we've had a bit of a halt, so I do apologise for that. But we will be back as soon as possible, hopefully. So yeah, Charlie THFC. If you want to see more Tottenham content, similar to what Matt does on here, feel free to go and subscribe if you wish to.
Yeah, absolutely. I highly recommend everybody goes over and takes a look at Charlie's channel. But for us, for now, we're going to leave it right there. As Steve says, don't forget to like the channel to show your support. Tottenham against Dinamo Zagreb on the 11th and 18th of March. Let's hope Tottenham can come out of this one with a trophy. As always, thanks so much for watching.
Come on, you.